Hello, everybody. This is your boy. Excuse me from talking because I was eating something at the moment. But this is your boy. No introduction. This is keys to victory against the New York Giants. I done made a couple of videos and got the third, so I hope I can remember what I said in the process of making the video. Before I do, you can do 5 things for me: comment, like, share, subscribe, notification bell on top of the video, so when I make this video directly from me to you, and I'm sorry, not 6 but 5 but 6, and one more other thing, comment in the comment section below. Now let's get started. This is keys to victory against the New York Giants. Eagles in Philadelphia, New York at Philly. It's a home game. The Eagles' first divisional round game against this team that had beaten the Minnesota Vikings. I forgot what the score was, but it was up in the 20s. The Giants played good defense, they played good offense. The Giants do not got a top 10 ranked defense. Their defense like between 16 to 12, somewhere along up in there, but their defense can give you problems. Their front four can. Brian Dubal did a good job with the team. He got Daniel Jones, he's doing real well with Daniel Jones because he did the same thing with Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. Same thing, same kind of quarterback, same formation. So this guy has captured the offense to the key. He's done a real good job. So, but they beat the Minnesota Vikings, and Jones was able to stand in that pocket and complete pass. The man threw for over 200 some yards. I think he threw for 4 scores, which is a career high for him. Passing yards and throwing the football, completions, non-completions, and attempts. That was a career high for him in the first playoff game. Saquon Barkley had 100 yards rushing, I believe. And the wide receiver named Slayton, the Eagles gonna have to be aware of this guy because he's the only player that Jones been getting the ball to. The key to victory: the Eagles gonna have to blitz and contain Jones. They can't let Jones break the pocket and none necessary. Don't get me wrong, Jones will try to run that football, but we gotta tackle him when he does. We can't allow him to get no 8, 9, 10, or 15 yards for first down. We can't allow that. We won't have to contain Saquon Barkley. He's able to break in. He's able of breaking runs at any time, at any moment. We got to contain the outside passes. We got to continue to blitz and get to Daniel Jones. We got to get to that man because if he don't, he will beat us. Even though I don't feel the New York Giants at this moment, but he will beat us if we allow them to stay in this game. The Eagles gonna have to protect Hurts. They got to get him a good part to look at us so he can scan the field and get the ball out of his hands. Or if he needs to run the football, they got to make sure Miles Sanders run the football because the last two games against the Giants, they did not run that man at all. If they did, he had like 35, maybe 40 yards on so many carries. They got to change in this game. The Eagles are going to come out and run this football early and often with Miles Sanders. Let the man get at least 8 or 9 touches before the half. He needs some touches. He really do. We're going to have to run the football. We're going to have to protect Jalen Hurts and let him complete balls down for first downs or the short pass out the backfield. If the Giants won't allow the Eagles to get the balls out wide, he need to have his second and third option or fourth option to get the ball out of his hand to keep him from getting hurt. Now this is a guy, Jalen Hurts. They say he's. I don't think he's 100%. He could be like 85 to 90% ready to play. The same could be said for Lane Johnson, who's playing with a groin injury. The Giants probably are gonna put somebody on that side to test Lane Johnson's injury, and they're gonna have to come after Hurts and try to tackle him and get him to the ground on that same shoulder. So the Giants got a game plan. They got a game plan. They really do. They plan on hitting Hurts early and often, and so that's where the run comes in at. If they can run the ball effectively, they won't have to worry about tackling Hurts unless Hurts is going to break the pocket himself. So we got to play good defense. Got to play good defense against the Giant team, because the Giant team, they on the uprise. They are on the uprise. They on a natural high because they beat the Minnesota Vikings. You know what I'm saying? The Vikings is a trashy team. They ain't no good team whatsoever. And I don't understand for the life of me why people think the Minnesota Vikings is a good team when they actually ain't. They are a bad team. That's why the Giants ain't such a bad team, but they were able to beat a bad, they put a half-bad team against a bad team. The half-bad team beat a bad team, and the half-bad team, which are the New York Giants, who I'm referring to, got this natural high. They talking trash right now, talk about they can beat anybody at any given day. If the Eagles let the Giants stay around, they will beat us, and we cannot allow that. The Eagles are trying to get back to the Super Bowl. They're trying to get back there and win their second one. And it also depends on who we play from in the AFC as well. But we're not going to play the AFC right now. This is about the Eagles playing the New York Giants, and that's my main focus because they are Friday and the game is tomorrow afternoon. I think they wearing all black. Someone up in there, I believe, either black or they probably wearing green. I'm not exactly sure, but I was told they were wearing black. So if that's true, I will be wearing my black jersey, even though I can't post nothing on Facebook at the moment because I'm on block right now. So, but I would be wearing black. That for sure. That's basically it. The key to victory is to beat the New York Giants. We got to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Because now the divisional rounds ain't no more playing around. It's win or go home. And if the Eagles want to go home, let the New York Giants hang around. They'll be on to the NFC Conference Championship. And we can't allow that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to beat this Giant team utterly and often. We got to beat them. We got to. This is the third time we don't play them. The last time we played them, the Giants had their backups playing. They came home just a minute. Sorry about that. Light's about to go off. But anyway, we can't let the Giant team hang around. We can't. We got to beat them. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. We got to beat the team. We got to destroy them because the Giants fans are talking trash. The Giants ain't talking trash. It's the fan base. So they got their right to talk trash because of the fact that the Giants have been to the playoffs since 2016. That's a long time. The Eagles have been beating them since 2016. That's why we on the all-time series against them. They on doing from 2016 until this season. They beat them probably 3 times, I believe. And so, but overall in aspect, we cannot allow the team to stay. We can't allow them to hang around. The Eagles are going to have to put at least 20 points before halftime. If they can put 30 points up, we got this. We got this in the bag. If they put up 30 points, then they'll be able to get some players out. For example, Lane Johnson. They can get Lane Johnson out and put the backup offensive tackle in place. That way Lane Johnson get some rest, heal up that groin injury, and wait for the next game. So some players probably will be. The Eagles are probably going to pull some players. If the Eagles get up to 35, maybe between 28 to 38 to 40 points, they're going to start putting players off the field and put their backups in. That way the injury can get more rest and want to worry about the next game when we play. Because who we play next week, who we play after this divisional round is going to depend on the injury rest, the resting the injury of the ones who's hurt. So Hurts is one who's suffering a terrible shoulder injury in the Chicago game. He's going to need rest, and then Lane Johnson going to go out to rest that groin injury. Those are probably our 2 major concerns for protecting Hurts and Hurts protecting himself. So, but if Hurts do break the pocket, he need to start sliding. He got to slide, or if he ain't gonna break the pocket, get as many yards as you can, but get out of bounds. Because if they hit you out of bounds, that's a 10-yard penalty. So we can hope that happens, but he needs to protect himself going into the next game. Because the next game is gonna it's gonna matter. Or we could play either Cowboys or the 49ers. And those are 2. With Cowboys, ain't nobody to worry about. But the 49ers is a team to be much concerned of because they got number 1 ranked defense and they got the number 2 or number 3 ranked offense. That team is going to be much to reckon with. A lot of people think the Cowboys are going to beat the Niners. That's very serious. Because the Cowboys, they got a good defense, good offense, but they're not turning up to beat a top-ranked team in the 4 who are ranked number 2 in the division. And the Cowboys is ranked like 4 or 5, somewhere along up in there. 4 of their rank concern, position rankings of 4 at the playoff concern. So that wasn't going to come down to the Eagles cannot allow Daniel Jones to hang around. They can't allow him to complete down deep balls for first down, because if he do, that's going to kill us. We got a very good secondary that can contain the outside receivers, but we ain't got much of a protection on the inside guys. So that's where Blankenship is going to come in, and that's where T.J. Jones is going to come in, because T.J. Jones had a good amount of rest as well. So it's going to come down to those 2 guys containing the inside receivers or the inside tight ends or running backs and coming in to catch the balls in the middle of the zone. We can't afford to play zone defense against the Giants spread offense, because they can kill us in the zone coverages. So Gannon gonna have to continue to blitz, or disguise the coverage a little bit more so that they have the Giants offense guessing. Because we got to keep them guessing, because they're gonna do the same thing to us. They're gonna confuse the offensive line to get to Jalen Hurts or the running game and tackle them guys or sack them for losses. We can't afford that. Because if Hurts even get knocked down on that shoulder even once, it could probably ruin our chances of getting our second Super Bowl. We can't afford that. We really can't. We already got to be concerned about the 49ers defense. So we should need to be concerned about a weak defense as the New York Giants. Because the Giants can discuss their coverages. This guy, Wayne Martindale, who the fan base really wanted on defense, I think if the Eagles had Wayne Martindale right now instead of Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defense will probably be number 1 or number 2. So that's what it's going to come down to. We want to protect. We got to disguise our offensive line and get some good protections against this Wayne Martindale run defense. That's what it's going to come down to. We got to protect Hurts. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. If we want to win the Super Bowl or get to the Divisional Conference Championship and win it, we got to protect Hurts. We got to run the football. We got to make sure Hurts have a clean pocket 90% of the time to complete balls. Don't get me wrong, the Giants will come in and hit Hurts, but the ball needs to be out of his hand before he gets hit. That's what it's going to come down to. If Hurts going to start breaking out that coverage a little bit more, if the outside receivers are covered and the inside receivers are covered, throw the ball out of bounds. Get the ball out your hand quick and probably, because you can't afford to get hurt. You cannot afford to get hurt or get hurt by your last name. Can't afford it. So it's going to come down to protection, to offensive line protection, the right calls. It's going to come down to the running game. Miles going to have to get at least 25, 30 touches for over 100 yards. We're going to have to use Boston Scott on kick returns, and we want to use him at backup as well for first downs or whatever running back they want to use. They're going to have to run the game to protect Hurts throughout this entire game, this entire process, the game process. We're going to have to do it. There's no other way around it. So, with that being said, I just feel I need to make this video and get my keys out. But we all know the main key. The key is that Lane Johnson protects Hurts on the right side. We got to make sure the right play calls are called on offense and from the quarterback or from the coaches. Offensively, defensively, they're going to have to get to Daniel Jones. Because if they don't get to Jones, we're going to have an issue. Hold on just a minute. If we don't protect Hurts, we're going to have an issue. I'm sorry I had to repeat that because I lost my train of thought trying to get this life back on. But anyway, what I read was actually saying that the Eagles are going to have to get to Daniel Jones on defense. We're going to have to get to him. I'm not sure if you're going to use blitzes or disguise your coverages. Something has to be done to contain Daniel Jones. If you got to buy that man, buy him. But you can't buy him as much. Because if you buying in part of the zone coverages, which means that you might, if you got one player watching him, you need the guys the other players from watching them as well, so they can get this guy on the ground when he tend to break the pocket. That what it's gonna come down to. We're gonna have to tackle Daniel Jones. We gotta tackle Saquon Barkley. Get these guys on the ground. And I forgot the other running back they got. The name starts with a B. Is it Bell or Bellum, something like them? I'm not exactly sure what that boy name is, but they want to get all these guys on the ground. 5 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 5. But if you can't allow them to get 5 yards, they're gonna get 5 yards anyway. But if we can do sound tackling, contain Daniel Jones, contain the outside passes, the inside passes. If we can do those 4 things and get to Daniel Jones when he draw back and pass on 3, 4, 5 step drops, if we can do that on defense, the Eagles will have a good night. They can pin their ears back and get after Daniel Jones and contain the run as much as they can possible. Because that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to protection of Hurts. Right offensive line calls, right play calls. Defense going to do the same thing. Right defensive calls, right coverages. It's going to come down to coaching. The coaches are going to have to out-coach Brian Daboll and Wayne Mondale, because Brian Daboll is a rookie coach, but Wayne Mondale is a veteran defensive coordinator. They're going to have to do better than guys in their coverages against Wayne Mondale's defense. Again, this is your boy. That needs no introduction. You guys enjoy your Friday, because I'm definitely going to enjoy mine. And I'm going to sleep well tonight, waiting for tomorrow's game against the New York Giants. I've already said what I had to say at the bottom, so please comment in the comment section below and enjoy your Friday like I just said. Peace. And I'm out. Time to get to work, folks. Out.